In Nigeria, maybe because of our social issues, we've tried not to allow it to grow. But globally, it's claiming its space, and it looks like whenever analysts predict that it's going to double, it will do more than double. And that's the kind of thing we're seeing.
So should we expect that prediction to also look like,
Undoubtedly, with the work we've done with one of the state governments in providing a non-interest bond, if you look at the model of how we ring-fence this transaction, such and such that the investors actually deliver the schools to the state, and the state will rent to own those schools. That rent now being the profit that the investors are going to enjoy. If you see the way it's done, the investors will not just sit back and say, I've put my money in that state. The investors will ensure that...
So everybody's working?
Everybody's working together to ensure that at the end of the day, we will see that infrastructure developed. And then from there, everybody makes money.
Well, Taufik, we're just going to take a quick break now to catch our breath. And when we come back, I know you already talked about this profit and loss sharing principles. Yes. But we'll really expatiate more on it.
It will be nice.
Well, you're still watching this morning on Channels Television. We'll take a quick breather now on the program. And when we come back, our conversation on non-interest banking in Nigeria will continue. And I have here with me in the studio the Head of Investment and Research of Lotus Capital, Taufik Agbaji. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Business Morning on Channels Television, and today on the program our focus is on the state of non-interest banking in Nigeria, and I have here with me the Head of Investment and Research of Lotus Capital, Taufik Agbaji. But just before we continue with that conversation, let's take a look at some company news. As I said at the beginning of the program, Forte Oil has released its third quarter financial statement, and the company actually posted very impressive numbers. The revenue for that quarter actually came in 28.97% higher from the 2012 figure, which was 71.42 billion naira. The company's revenue grew to 19.12 billion naira for the period on the review. Profit before tax also rose astronomically by 258.40%. That's about in 2012. It was 898.33 million, but now it's 3.21 billion naira. Profit after tax also came in higher, 316.99% higher actually, to 2.73 billion naira from 656.39 million naira recorded in the comparable period. Also, another company that has posted its earnings to the Nigerian Stock Exchange's Courtville Business Solutions PLC. Also for the third quarter, the company recorded an 18% growth in its turnover from 774.51 million naira to 913.69 million naira. Profit before tax rose as well to 11.7% to 313.42 million. Profit after tax came in higher, 13.6% higher, to 267.58 million naira from 235.62. Net assets grew by 4.9% to 2.95 billion naira. Well, earnings seasons is in. The numbers will be trickling in gradually, and as soon as we get them, we'll bring them to you. As I said, our focus on the program today is on the state of non-interest banking in Nigeria, and I have here with me the Head of Investment and Research at Lotus Capital, Taufik Agbaji. Thank you so much, Taufik, for sticking around.
Thank you, Harriet.
Well, it's been an interesting conversation, but let me take you back a little. One of the key features of Islamic banking, or non-interest banking as we all know, is the prohibition of interest payment, otherwise known as usury. Why is interest payment so seriously tested? And looking at the fact that the bank has to make some profit at the end of the day, has to post profit and has to give investors returns at the end of the quarter. Why or how do you balance this out?
Very good question, Harriet. Today it will seem as if you can't make money without talking about interest. But your question actually goes deep down to the existence of man. Before interest, man has lived and man has done business. And this is the mindset. And each time somebody goes out there to look for money, and interest is either charged or given, behind it, there's supposed to be an economically viable transaction. Now, if somebody comes to you today and say, I need a car, as a financial institution, the first thinking you would come to is to say, I'll give him a loan and I'll charge an interest. Clearly, that's the way everybody thinks today.
Yes, you have to make business.
You have to make business,
profits.
exactly. But there's nothing wrong with me being somebody out of the box and say, you want a car, what sort of car do you want? It's a Lexus, or it's what sort of car do you need? And you tell me. You tell me the model, and you tell me the color, and you tell me your preferred dealer. As a financial institution, I can actually go to that dealer and buy that spec of car and say, this is the car. How much are you willing to pay for it if I allow you to pay over 2 years? Can you see the other side of the thinking? As a financial institution, you can remove your jacket and your tie and do business like the car dealer. Well, you actually go and get the asset in your name, in your custody, and then negotiate with the customer.
But nothing accrues to the bank. There's no profit that is coming to the bank because
we have not agreed on the price I'm going to sell for me to allow you to pay over the next 2 years or over the next 2 days. The bank now negotiates with the customer. Say, this is the car you want. If you're going to pay today, this is how much I'll charge you. If you're going to pay tomorrow, this is how much I charge you. The same way when you go to the market to buy yam, as simple as it is, and the yam seller tells you, if you're paying now, you pay 200 naira. If you're paying at the end of the month when you get paid, I'll take 300 naira. And you ask her, why are you doing this? Is this interest? She'll tell you, look, madam, in 1 month, I will go to the market 3 times. And I'd have made more money. She understands nothing of interest. That is the truth about it. We can do things without looking at interest. So this is how it is. The bank takes on the position of a seller. Otherwise, the bank takes the position of a lessor. That is, you actually buy the asset and allow the customer to pay rents for the use. Or you and the customer go into a partnership to buy the asset or deal with the contract together. And then at the end of the day, you share the profits as agreed. This is how the non-interest banks have been able to make money, different from the ways the conventional banks have been able to make money. And let's not, go too deep into this. It's only another product in the financial market. And people have found it to be useful in countries like the United States and the United Kingdom and Germany. They found it to work and deliver those assets. And that is why it has claimed its space in the financial market.
Okay, now let's look at the profit and loss sharing principles.
Yes.
You already mentioned it in an earlier conversation. How practical is this in our environment where trust is a big issue? Will it not be cumbersome as regards supervision and oversight?
Interestingly, it isn't cumbersome. The reason is very simple. Whatever profits you charge in a business, with mathematical models, you can actually arrive at a single rate of return, representing what you've earned from it. Even if it's a flow, you can work out to say the internal rate of return. And somebody can just use that rate to match the market and say, oh, this financial institution is taking too much from the customer, or this customer is earning too much from the financial institution. For those of us who practice, these are the things we do. If we look at a project and we assess the profitability and we decide on a profit share, we actually work out an internal rate of return for the customer to be able to use to match what he would have paid in the alternative market or